Now it don't matter if I'm young. Nah, it don't matter if I'm young. They say live it in your 20s. Go and get yours. Go and get money. Sow them wild oats. Slide with some honeys. Yeah, I tried that already. And them lies don't satisfy, buddy. This one's really dumb. They like have some fun. Now and change tomorrow. That may never come. And they think make excuses that they young. Well, you stop making excuses. One of man's what you become. Don't believe the lies. Y'all ain't missing nothing except never ending games. I'm holding on to sand grains. They calling me a fool. I'm giving what I can't keep, gaining what I can't lose. It don't matter if I'm young. Yeah, I'm unashamed. Young. This right, I'm living for the king. Young. If I can do all things. Yeah. Nah, it don't matter if I'm young. Now it don't matter if I'm young. Now it don't matter if I'm young. Now it don't matter if I'm young. Nah, it don't matter if I'm told me get that money, little duffel bag, boy. Them dime bags, nickel bags, hustle that enjoy. But Eons D said go to jail, you kid out, you unemployed. Now you will win Dixie Publix or a Kroger bag. And if I listen to the colleges, I'll probably cut my son like a dog when there's a again, arguing, tolerance. I can do whatever, no consequence, partying. With a couple ball beats, gonna buy more displays. So my God is in science, psychology. The only problem is it got way free. I was locked up in a box, couldn't rock the top until the sun popped up. Really copped us with a top blood. He would have got the flock in by the crossbar. Brought us from the bottom, though I lost up, but what I got was God and His love. How could I be big? I know everything I'm getting, I get better and better, so I'm glad I'm young. So they say you young, live your life, do what you want, I think they right, cause we want Jesus, living in our sight, you only live once,
My homies living twice.
new heaven, homie,
New earth too.
yeah, I'm unashamed, that's right, I'm living for the king, and I can do all things, nah, it don't matter if I'm
Shabbat shalom, Facebook fam. We give all glory and honor to the higher B'Shem Yeshaya. What? And for all those who are not familiar with the Hebrew, it is all praises to the Most High in the name of Christ and the Holy Spirit. We want to welcome each and every one of you to week 23 of the awakening of our people, the so-called black man, the so-called African American man that is in this country, who is the tribe of Judah from the nation of Israel. We appreciate each and every one of you taking time out of your busy schedule being with us this morning. We do apologize for coming on a little late, running a little behind, but we do appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. We know you got a lot of things going on, so for the fact that you took time to join us this morning, we really want to say that we are appreciative of your time. We do have a very exciting word here today. It's nice to get back in the swing of things. We were on vacation last week. Basically took the whole week off. Last week I had some people hit me up like, yo man, where you at? And we ain't hear from you. We ain't getting no posts. We ain't getting no nothing. But, you know, every now and then your mans have to take a time away, you know what I'm saying, just to get himself together, just to reevaluate some things, spend time with the family. And it was definitely a needed vacation. And so we locked the note now. We're ready to get back to work, to the awakening of our people, the so-called black man, the so-called African-American man that is in this country. Now, before we get into the lesson today, I want to say on the outset that I am happy to see that many of the people that we are connected to are doing well. We have experienced the last couple of weeks in this country some devastating storms on the physical sense, and as well as on the spiritual sense. I know many people, unfortunately, are not really spiritual when it comes to being connected to the Most High, so it's kind of hard for you to fathom and understand some of the things that you're seeing going on in this country. But what we saw in the physical was definitely a manifestation of what is going on from a spiritual sense. Many people I see are going through storms in their lives. People going through things in their marriage, things with their children, things with their businesses. A lot of churches are going through turmoil right now. There's a lot of things going on in this world right now. A lot of things going on. And as a result of those things that I see going on, I'm also seeing the rise of what I like to call new philosophers. New philosophers where they profess to not be Christian, whatever the case may be. They profess to not believe in the Bible, but yet a lot of these people want to become experts on God. And it's really funny to me that not only that I'm seeing these people with this boldness to come out and speak on things that have nothing to do with them, but at the same time, people who say they know Christ and say they know the Most High and say that they believe in the Bible are interjecting with these things. And that's what really troubles me. And so throughout the week, I was just noticing some things, and people were coming to me asking my opinion about it, and I was just like, no, man, I don't have any opinion on this thing. I just know the Most High's truth. That's it. I don't have an opinion. I don't understand how at this stage in our life in 2017, people still talking about opinions. It's the Most High's truth, and the rest of it is lies. It's no matter what you want to see, how you look at it, it's the Most High's truth, and everything else is a lie. That's why Romans 3 tells us, let God be true, and let every man be a lie. Okay? So it's very important that you know that, and not get caught up in these social media debates with people. Not get caught up in people because they're saying things that may seem a little deep. And one of the things that disturbs me is, especially when it comes to people that are involved in the church, is that unfortunately, people are not hearing in-depth messages in their churches. They're not hearing the Bible. They're hearing either their denomination, they're hearing a certain doctrine or whatever is relevant on the news, and then the preacher comes back and preach that, so it can, kind of connect with the people. But they're not really hearing a rhema word every Saturday, where it's coming from the Most High, strictly through the mouth of the pastor. So what is happening as a result of that, someone who can come along and say something that may be a fact, not necessarily be a truth according to the Most High, but it may be a fact, and then that is pulling so many people away from the Bible. It's pulling so many people away from the Most High, because seems like you're hearing stuff for the first time in other places. And so now people are looking back and they're questioning their faith. So as a result of that, and as I said before, now said, with the different storms, the physical storms and the spiritual storms, I was praying to the Most High all this week, and the Most High delivered this word today, and it's entitled Building on a True Foundation. Building on a true foundation. Now, with anyone who knows anything about building, especially if anyone ever had a home build or you started a business from the ground up, you know that one of the things that's very important is that foundation that you build is a secure one. And so if your foundation is not secure, whatever you build going up, no matter how fancy it looks, no matter how even strong it may be, if that foundation is shaky, if that foundation is not secure, what you're going to have is, you're going to have ultimately the storm, whatever storm come in, whatever strong wind that may come in, ultimately you're going to see your structure fall to the ground. And I truly believe in my heart, because many of our people, the so-called black men, the so-called African-American man, is foundation of their faith is not strong. when the storms of life comes, when someone comes in with a different doctrine, when someone comes in with something what they consider to be truth that sounds deep or whatever the case may be, that foundation not being strong in the Most High, in Christ, it leads to their situation falling. It leads to their lives falling apart. So, today, by the inspiration of the Most High, we want to build our people a strong foundation. And I don't care today if you've been saved 10, 15 years. I don't care if you've been in church for 20, 30 years. I don't care if you're a leader in the church. I don't care if you're a preacher, pastor, bishop, whatever the case may be. I want you to all to take a look at your foundation today. Now, being the fact that this is week 23, some of the things that we're going to go forth with, we're going to be speaking on the level of that you understand that you're not black, that you're not African American. So we're going to give this disclaimer as well, since this has been 2 weeks off. Today you're going to hear some things that if you're joining us for the first time, you may hear some things today that it's going to be outside of the norm. We're going to ask you not to click off. We're going to ask you to stay with us. If you're currently in a church where there's a denomination, it's probably going to be difficult to receive some of the things you're going to hear here today. But we're going to ask you to stay with us. And as we go through these Bibles from precept to precept, we hope that you take a look and examine your foundation. And if your foundation has any cracks in it, we're going to ask you to take this word today and fill it up. But some of you may have to tear down this whole structure altogether and rebuild. And that's all good too. So, we're going to get started today. Go with me in your Bibles to Micah, the 6th chapter. It's in your Minor Prophets. For those who may not be familiar with your Bible, it's right after the book of Amos. It's going to be right before Nahum. So take time right now. Go to the book of Micah. We're going to look at the 6th chapter. We're also going to look at some verses in the 7th chapter as well, because we have to go back and get some verses, show you some verses where the Most High was speaking to his people, which is us, the so-called black man, the so-called African American man, the so-called Mexican, the so-called Puerto Rican, the so-called Indian, the so-called Jamaican and Bolivian and Costa Rican. These are the people of the children of Israel. Now, Micah, the 6th chapter, we're going to do verses 1 through 8 here. And today's lesson, if you just joined us, today's lesson is entitled, Building on a True Foundation. Jay, let's get verse 1 there.
Hear ye now what the Lord saith. Arise, contend thou before the mountains, and let the hills hear thy voice. Hear ye, O mountains, the Lord's controversy, and ye strong foundations of the earth. For the Lord has controversy with his people, and he will plead with Israel.
Now, so, the Most High is coming in through the prophet Micah and calling all of his people to stand before him as he speaks through Micah, the prophet. And read verse 2 for them again.
Hear ye, O mountains, the Lord's controversy, and ye strong foundations of the earth. For the Lord has a controversy with his people.
So he's saying that the Most High is saying, I have a problem. I have an issue with my people. Now, it's very key that you understand that the Most High wasn't calling in the Gentiles and saying he has a problem with the way they're living. Shabbat Shalom, good to see you on with us today. Shabbat Shalom to my boy Navi. Shabbat Shalom to my boy Albert. Appreciate you guys coming on with us today. The Most High, he wasn't bringing in the Gentile nations and saying, I have an issue with you. He wasn't bringing in England and Spain and France and saying, I have an issue with you. He said, I have an issue with my people, the nation of Israel, which is us, the so-called black man, the so-called African American man in this country. And he says, I have a problem with my people. Then he said, what?
And will plead with Israel.
Now I'm here to plead with you. I'm here to contend with you. I'm here to ask you some questions. I'm here to break down and look at the situation that is going on, because we got a problem here. Now let's see what the problem was. Let's look at verse 3.
O my people, what have I done unto thee? And wherein have I wearied thee? Testified against me.
So the Most High is saying, listen, man, you ain't listening to me. You ain't doing what I'm saying. You living like you don't even know me. Tell me, what is it that I did to you? How has I won your patience? I mean, think about it. I mean, think about when you're in a relationship, right? And you loving on that person, you buying that person gifts, you dating that person, and you compromising with that person, and you giving everything you have, but then this person always has a problem with you. This person is always bringing up issues with you. This person just never seems like they're never satisfied. You coming to them like, yo, what is it that I did? Because you are oblivious to it, because with you, it seems like everything is gravy, but with them, they always have an issue. And this is what the Most High was saying, like, what is it that I did to cause you to walk away from me? What is it that I did that now you act like you don't even know me when you're in the public? You don't have no knowledge for me and your family. You have no knowledge for me and your churches. What is it that I did to cause this? Verse 4.
For I brought thee up out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed thee out of the house of servants. And I sent before thee Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. O my people, remember now what Balak king of Moab consulted, and what Balaam the son of Beor answered him from Shunem and Gilgal, that ye may know the righteousness of the Lord.
So the Most High is saying, listen, remember, your descendants, your people, were in slavery, in bondage. I came in and redeemed them out of it. I brought them out of it. And when he's talking about this thing, remember, he said, I sent Moses and Aaron and Miriam before you. I didn't send you out here and free you and then cause you to go out and find your own way. I sent Moses, who heard directly from me. I heard Aaron, who was the prophet, was the priest, who was taking in the sacrifices for you. And I sent Miriam, who was the prophetess, who was speaking truth unto you every day. So it's not like I didn't equip you to do what you needed to do. So let's fast forward to our time. Our people were in slavery. Our people were in bondage. Our people were on cotton fields and tobacco fields. The Most High came in and delivered us off of those fields. Delivered us out of this bondage. I guess from a physical standpoint, there was still some mental and spiritual things that need to be done. But for the most part, we were free. But yet, as soon as we begin to get onto the other side, as soon as we begin to buy houses and get cars and get a little prosperous, we don't want to deal with the Most High no more. As soon as the doors open and now we don't have to go to A&T, now we can go to Carolina. As soon as now we don't have to play in the Negro Leagues and you can play in Major League Baseball and football and NFL and NBA, now we act like we don't know the Most High no more. Now that's played out. Now we say it don't take all of that. Ain't that what we say? So the Most High is saying, listen, I did all of this for you, but you act like you don't remember. And then it's key for you to see here when he's talking about what Balak the king of Moab did, because Balak the king of Moab, as the children of Israel was coming through on their way to the promised land, he went and sought out the prophet Balaam and told him to curse these people because he wanted to destroy them. He didn't want to do no love. He didn't want to do no trade with them. He didn't want to be no peace. His whole mission was to destroy the children of Israel. And so when the prophet Balaam went out and stood before the children of Israel and went to curse them, the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and the only thing he could do was bless him. So he's saying, not only did I free you, not only did I make a way for you, but then your enemies that came out to destroy you, I turned the Spirit in them and made them end up blessing you. So if you want to know what the righteousness is, you want to know what my position is, he says, remember that. Now, let's look at verse 6.
Wherewith shall I come before the Lord, and bow myself before the high God? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves of a year old? Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, or with 10,000 of rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul?
So here, see now, this is the Most High being sarcastic in a way. Just to be honest with you, being sarcastic. He's saying now, it's kind of like a spoiled child. In a sense, my parents out here, they got children. You know, you got a child that you done gave everything to, but then when you're asking them to do the things that you tell them to do, they coming out saying, okay, if I go to school and I do this, and if I clean up my room, and they take it for granted everything you're doing, belittling all the sacrifices and the hard work that you're doing for them, and making it seem like, okay, what it is that you want me to do to make you happy? Do you want me to clean the room up? Do you want me to go to school and act right? Do you want me to treat you with respect? This is what the Most High is saying. So you saying, bring all these sacrifices to me and sacrifice your kid. If I do this, will this make you happy, God? And many of you may not have said this thing, something like this in particular, but you had inferred it. When you make statements like, man, God, what else do you need me to do? I'm doing this, I'm doing that. What else do you want me to do? What else do I have to give up? I stopped going to the club. I stopped having sex. We do the same thing. Because we belittle what he has done. So he said, is this what it is? And look what he said in verse 8.
Yeah, show me, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of thee?
Okay, so he said, I already done told you what I require of you. It's already been presented to you what you need to do to be in right standing with me. And what did he say that was?
But to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God.
That's all I ask. And when many of us act like that's too hard for us to do. Like we just can't do right by people. We can't give mercy and receive mercy. And we can't walk humbly before God. Get that pride out the way. Stop worrying about your own issues. Stop worrying about your own mission, your own goals. And submit yourself to the Most High. But for many of us, that act like that is too difficult. So today's lesson is entitled, Building on a True Foundation. Our people, the so-called black man, the so-called African-American man in this country has gotten to the point that now we act like acknowledging Christ, acknowledging the Most High is the last thing you do, right? First thing you do when you hear some bad news, you go to the news and you see what the news got to say about it. And then you go to Google. Let me Google that. Doctor said I had this. Let me Google it. What Google say. Then you get on the telephone. You start talking to your peoples. Then you go on social media on Facebook and you say, I'm going through this situation. What y'all think about it? Ask Facebook. Right? We do all of those things. And then when we don't get an answer, then we say, God, I need you. What would it be like if we started with the Most High in the beginning? What if that foundation was Christ and Christ alone? Imagine where we would be as a people right now. Imagine what our families would look like. Imagine what our community would look like. Imagine what our churches would look like. Now, go over to chapter 7. And we're going to look at verses 1 through 9 here.
Woe is me, for I am as they have gathered the summer fruits, as the grape gleanings of the vintage. There is no cluster to eat. My soul desired the first ripe fruit. Okay, so Micah is saying here, he's saying, look, I'm that guy that loved to go out into the harvest and pick that good summer fruit when it's good and ripe, and to go to grab that good apple off that tree and pick those grapes when they get just right. This is what feeds me. This is what satisfies me. But then when I go out there, now that I go out there, I don't even see none. There is no grapes. There is no fruit for me to eat of. There is no harvest. Why? Because there ain't none being planted. And the little bit that is being planted, it ain't being watered. I can't go nowhere in the neighborhood and get any type of spiritual edification, because even the church folks don't got answers no more. I can't go to my pastor. I can't go to the deacons. I can't go to the preachers. I can't go to the so-called apostles. Nobody ain't got no answers. I'm going looking for it to feed my soul. I'm going Sunday after Sunday. The only thing they got to tell me is hold on to Jesus come back. I'm trying to save my family, and the only thing they can tell me is hold on to Jesus come back. Verse 2. The good man is perished out of the earth.
The good man has perished out of the earth. Can't find them. Everybody trying to do their own thing. Verse, you said what now?
The good man is perished out of the earth, and there is none upright among men. They all lie in wait for blood. They hunt every man his brother with a net.
His own brothers. Your own people. We sit around here, and every time a cop shoot one of us in the streets, everybody mad, everybody on social media going in, everybody saying all this, everybody going to get Black Lives Matter shirts and going downtown with a sign. But when Junebug shoot Chris at the club, you don't say nothing. When you see this guy just bust a guy just because of the argument, you have nothing to say. So when a cop kills us, everybody's mad. But when we kill ourselves for nothing, I don't hear a word. Where's the outrage then? And then you will know who killed them and won't say a word. Man, ain't no snitch, man. They ain't me. And you let the killer go, but you want to fight a cop. This is the mindset of our people. This is the mindset of Israel. You celebrate dope dealers and ridicule and tear down the pastor who's giving his life to try to help the community. But you celebrate the dope boy who's destroying it. Every time you get a new car, you taking pictures of it and putting it on Facebook. Man, I'm telling my man, he killing it out there. Yeah, he is killing it, our people. But you ain't got nothing good to say about the men and women of God who's dedicated their lives. Where's that post? Where's that celebration? Verse 3.
That they may do evil with both hands. Earnestly, the prince asketh, and the judge asketh for reward. And the great man, he uttered his mischievous desire, so they wrap it up.
So they scheme together is what he's saying. The leaders, the mayors, the governors, the presidents, the senators, everybody asking for something. Listen, if you want me to do this legislation for, I need this money. The judge asking for a bribe. So, yeah, I killed him, but I got money, so here, I'll pay you off. Right? So, even when it comes down to traffic citations, even something simple as that, poor man come up, you'll take his license, you'll take his inability to work and provide for his family over a traffic violation. But then if you got money, you can be going 100 miles an hour in the 35 mile zone, pass a bus, kill somebody with a DWI, but you can pay a good lawyer and you just get off. What kind of system is that? But this is the world we live in. Verse 4.
The best of them is a briar. The most upright is sharper than a thorn's hedge. The day of the watchman and thy visitation cometh. Now shall be their perplexity. Trust ye not in a friend, but put ye not confidence in a God. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom.
You can't even take in your wife no more. You can't even trust your girl. You can't put no trust in your friends. You can't put no trust in your companions. I'm talking about amongst our people. Our people. I'm not talking about the Gentiles. I'm talking about us. What else did he say?
For the son dishonoreth the father. The daughter rises up against her mother. The daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's enemies are the men of his own house.
The man's enemy is who?
The man's enemies are the men of his own house.
Of his own house. Today's lesson is entitled Building on a True Foundation. That's really a shame. Now he's talking to Israel. He's talking to our people here. We spend so much time talking about what the white man doing and what the government is doing and what Donald Trump is doing. But what we doing? What about what we're doing to our own selves? This is something that we overlook. And because our foundation, our households are not built right, our families are not built right, our communities are not built right, our churches are not living right, when these outside issues that are coming from other places happen, this is how we end up falling. This is how we're destroyed. This is how generations are lost. Because the foundation is not built right. Verse 7.
Therefore I will look unto the Lord.
I will look to the news.
I will look unto the Lord.
I will look to social media.
I will look unto the Lord.
I will look unto my education.
I will look unto the Lord. I will wait for the God of my salvation. My God will hear me.
He will hear me. You see, this is the thing. You're talking about it when it's late. And we're going to get into this in a minute. We're going to show you why many of you are in a situation where it seems like the Most High ain't hear you. But he said, read that for him again.
Therefore, I will look unto the Lord.
I will look to the Lord. I'm not going to look to social media opinions. I'm not going to have a debate back and forth and say, get this guy an opportunity to put in his word and get this guy an opportunity to put, and then I waited 2 hours and I'm not doing any of that. Okay? I'm going to look to the Lord and do what?
I will wait for the God of my salvation. My God will hear me.
That's right.
Rejoice not against me, O my enemy, when I fall. I shall arise.
That's right.
When I sit in darkness, the Lord shall be a light unto me.
See, that's the game about it. You got to understand right now that your life right now may seem to be dark. It may be a dark place unto you right now. But when you're waiting on the Most High, He's going to be a light in your dark place. He's going to be able to show you how you get out of that situation. But it's going to be up to that whether you get out of it or not. And then He's going to say He's going to do what?
Verse 9.
Yeah, verse 9.
I will bear the indignation of the Lord, because I have sinned against
Now
him.
that's right there's key. Read that for him again.
I will bear the indignation of the Lord, because I have sinned against him.
See, that right there is your first step. This is the first step in building a true foundation with the Most High. It's understanding that you put yourself in this place. Now, we've done lessons over and over and over again. Let me go into my notes right quickly so I can give you this proper thing here. So I can tell you the right week, because we got some lessons that many of you need to check out. I want to make sure that I give you the proper week. Now, to understand this, you need to go back and watch week 11, and the lesson is entitled, "To whom much is given, much is required." Why am I saying that? Read that verse for him again so I can set it up again.
I will bear the indignation of the Lord, because I have sinned against him.
Now, the reason why we're saying that, I want you to go check out week 11, "To whom much is given, much is required," is because many of you, because you have not watched these lessons and seen the totality of what we've been talking about these 23 weeks, many of you still think that a white man is your enemy. Many of you still think that slavery and all these things came as a result of somebody taking us down. And we've been telling you for weeks that we are not an oppressed people, we are a fallen people. And as long as you think racism is real, as long as you think oppression is real, you're going to continue to blame them instead of looking at yourself and say, no, I'm not oppressed, I can get up. Nobody's holding me down. So when you go back and watch that video, "To whom much is given, much is required," you will see that all that the Most High gave our people, He gave us the law, He gave us the statutes, He gave us the commandments, He gave us everything. But because we refused to live it, we lost it. You need to realize that.